a scope of coverage you won't find anywhere else. This is Weather Scope This Morning, sponsored by 100% Colombian coffee.
And hello, sweet spirits. Thanks for tuning into the Weather Channel this morning. You've got Will and Jim to talk about the Northeast. And yesterday, Will, I was semi-hyping a snow event in the Northeast, and it looks like it will come true this morning.
That's true. Already looking at some rain breaking out with some sleet in parts of Virginia. That's going to be moving northward today, and some of that will become snow as well.
And we have to watch this time of the year, folks, because it is usually typically a heavy, wet snow, and unless it comes down at a pretty heavy rate, it won't be too many problems on the roadways. However, we do think it's going to come down at a pretty decent rate.
Beginning today.
Beginning today. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on now. You can see the radar very, very active in the east. Showers, even some thunderstorms moving off the coast of Florida overnight. And sure enough, those continue to progress on off to the east. All right, checking out the vapor for you. Oh, this is gorgeous, isn't it? This shows our two systems that we were dealing with yesterday. System number 1 here. System number 2 behind that. Just talking to some of our lead forecasters out there, and we'll notice that there's actually a break between these systems, and there's enough energy with this thing back here to, when it moves across, that we may ignite some more showers and thunderstorms across Alabama and also northern Georgia. So Atlanta, you may actually clear out, see some sun, and then have some showers move in tonight along with a few thunderstorms. Don't be surprised. Here's the cloud shield working northward into Pennsylvania and New York. And sure enough, underneath that, not too far behind Martinsburg, on down into the D.C. area, we are getting a few sleet pellets mixing in with our rain this morning as this moisture continues to work slowly northward into dry air. Now, temperatures are right around 35, 38 degrees, but the dew points are low enough so there will be evaporational cooling in the layer. Therefore, we will see the temperature come down and the precipitation type change. And that's what we're looking at. Lightning data here as we go through the past 24 hours or so. You can see these storms as they fired up to the Gulf, moved across Florida. Last night there was a weather watch out in this area. Lots of lightning, as you can see here. Those have pushed offshore this morning. But a new batch of storms is firing up here along with the upper level dynamics associated with the second system. So some of this is going to converge along the Gulf Coast today. And do be ready for that. So it's not over there by any stretch of the imagination. Again, the national radar showing system number 1 and the rain shield now beginning to pull out of Atlanta. Just some leftover clouds, some wet pavement for you now, but I think with some breaks in the clouds and this next disturbance coming across, maybe some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and tonight. How about that? Here's Washington, Baltimore. The sleet was actually at Patuxent River. It's raining in around the Beltway. Baltimore is raining as well. And as you head north and west, that's where you start to get into the problems with maybe some freezing rain. And it's just going to be like maybe 10 feet above the surface, you'll see the trees and the power lines start to glaze. That's where the 32-degree line is. It's not at the surface, but it's like 10 feet, 20 feet just above. That's where you're going to have the problem. So watch out on some of these power lines and some of these tree limbs because they may be coming down as the ice accumulates. This is all rain in through here, and a cold rain at that. Temperatures are right in the mid-30s as this continues to march on off to the north, and we're hoping for some improvements in the weather anytime soon, believe me. So the back edge of that first rain shield, the second disturbance is producing some showers through Missouri and also in Arkansas, even some thunderstorms reported here. So this system is pretty dynamically sound, so to speak, and you can see it on the water vapor back and through here. This one getting bumped east by yet the next one in the pipeline. And the next one here continues to feature rain this morning for north central California, snow for the Sierra, showers over the interior, and of course eventually some snow for the Wasatch. And some of this is going to be locally heavy too. So here's the analysis. The high pressure and the wedging high pressure here, the isobars are kind of kinked down on the eastern side of the Appalachians, so that cold dry air is just sitting here, and this moisture coming over the top of it is providing us with our overrunning precipitation and our cold rain. Here's the upper level disturbance behind that. You'll notice we don't have any surface feature associated with this, so it is mainly an upper level disturbance, but it's got moisture to work with. You can see the showers and the thunderstorms here already. And out to the west, our next low moving on in with the rain showers and the snow for the Sierra. And up in the northern Sierra and the Mount Shasta-Siskiyou region, snow levels coming down to about 3,500 feet with this thing moving in. So you can see the bowling ball here. Looks like a great day coming up for Seattle because once this moves east, you get on the sinking side of it. In other words, the air sinks on the northwest side of this, and Seattle's looking at a sweet day. But as we take you on eastward, this is where all the dynamics are, and this is where we're getting the mountain snows and the valley rains. And of course, tonight we're talking about snow for Utah and Colorado. So temperature-wise, still a cool morning in Texas. Still a cool morning east of the mountains here, and temperatures aren't expected to move all that much. And notice just north of the border here, that cold Arctic air is just waiting to drop on into place. And of course, the big question is, will it? Let's take a look with Weather Will.
Okay, Jim, we'll check on your forecast. Beginning with the midday today, it looks like a good chance of more rain. It's going to be freezing rain mixing with some sleet and snow as you head on northward. Again, looks like winter storm watches out for later today and tonight, basically south of the Mass Pike, and we'll be looking at, once again, a good chance of some snowfall there. Otherwise, you're looking at some more rains developing as far north as around Columbus, Ohio later on this afternoon. Looks like the rain will begin to exit the lower Mississippi Valley, but again, watch out for the air mass to destabilize a little bit more if the sunshine does come out from Birmingham to Huntsville to Anniston to around Atlanta, Georgia a little bit later on this afternoon. And there's your snow again for the bighorns across north central Montana. That snow is going to be whipping around there. And gusty winds also will be likely for Southern California today once this dry front begins to clear Palm Springs and heads over towards Phoenix by about this time tomorrow. Looking at the northeastern part of the country, it could become very, very messy a little bit later on, especially for New York City. But again, this is going to be a very, very wet snow. Could be mixing in with some sleet and freezing rain. But again, this is not going to be a crippling snowstorm, just a heavy wet snow for sure. As you look at the next 24 hours, most of that will be developing after dark tonight, with the highs today mostly in the 30s. Looks like some improving weather for the deep south today, especially along the Gulf Coast. But once again, we'll be tracking low pressure from right around Meridian, Mississippi on eastward and northeastward today. That could spawn a few more scattered showers and storms. From Atlanta back to Huntsville, and for much of the Sunshine State, a chance of more scattered showers from Tampa to around Daytona Beach. Some of those rains could be locally heavy. You saw band number 1 move through the area last night. Could be some more redeveloping today, with the forecast highs very warm, 70s and 80s today, and that's not going to be too tough to take. Some chillier 40s and 30s once you work your way into the western Carolinas and parts of Virginia too. What about the Midwest today? From Chicago to Minneapolis to Omaha, looks like a fair to partly cloudy day. The chance of rainfall here virtually nil. It's all going to be down towards your south, well down, all the way down south of Indianapolis to Springfield in Illinois and Springfield in Missouri, with highs mostly in the 30s and 40s. A touch cooler coming up for this weekend. We'll show you the forecast highs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not bad throughout the deep south until Sunday and Monday, when it does cool down here just a little bit more, and cooler readings for sure throughout central and northern New England. The skier forecast, we'll have that coming up momentarily.
Very bloody. More about the weather around.
Moisture onto the north of that, down to the back of that, there's an upper level disturbance producing showers and thunderstorms. And as this continues to move northward, it is moving into colder, drier air. And we do think that snow is going to break out in the Susquehanna Valley and start to accumulate, wet snow at that. Now right now, it looks like right along the Mason-Dixon line, our area of ice is beginning to set up. In other words, if you go up 10, maybe 20 feet above the surface, temperatures are below 32 degrees, and you're probably going to start to see a glaze on the trees, car surfaces, anything that would tend to freeze first, you know, metal or something that's up a little higher. So trees and power lines are up a little higher, so you got to keep that in mind, that we may have some problems with that. Low pressure sweeping in across the west. Most of the energy now is right here, and that's where we're getting most of the shower activity. So the Sierra with the snow, and some of those snow levels are going to come down to about 3,500 feet. Here's our precipitation shield continuing to work its way on northward and eastward. And you'll notice again the leading edge is coming into Pennsylvania. Not much hitting the ground here yet, but where it is, we're probably getting some sleet, snow, and freezing rain from about Garrett County, Maryland, through Martinsburg, West Virginia, down through Hagerstown, and right down into the D.C. area where it continues to be mostly rain at this time. But just north and west of the metro area, we are getting the problems with the icing. So it's kind of up in here, just off the graphic. But this is all rain, a miserable commute. Baltimore, Washington, Manassas, Virginia, down through Richmond, Charlottesville, Lynchburg. A cold, raw, rainy day coming up and through here. And as you can see, the northern edge of the precip trying to make it toward Philly and Pittsburgh, in which we have to first compete against the fact that we've got dry air here. So you'll notice as your temperature comes down in the thermometer, you've got a thermograph to graph the temperatures. Even though it may not look like it's precipitating out, you should see the temperature start to come down a little bit because the precipitation falling through that relatively dry air. Here's a little twist this morning, some more moderate rain moving across South Carolina. A little bit of a break there, but then we start to throw more moisture up into the colder, drier air, and this is where we just have a cold, raw, rainy day on tap for you. Notice the satellite picture here showing our shield of clouds stretching across the upper Midwest. A little bit of a break today, but the leading edge of our high, thin cirrus are coming out into the high plains, and this will lead to some light snow, mainly tomorrow and the day after that. Behind our first disturbance, there's another one over Arkansas, and with that, already showers and thunderstorms have been on the increase across the Gulf, and not good news indeed for this area, which was hit hard yesterday with some heavy rain from New Orleans on over into Pensacola. Let's go ahead and take a look at your forecast this morning. And again, as our low moves northward and our moisture moves into the cold, dry air, the snow breaking out Poconos, Catskills, Essex County, Orange County, Westchester, Rockland County, into interior New England, where winter weather advisories are posted already through tomorrow morning. And it is going to be a miserable rush hour in parts of the lower Hudson Valley, the lower Connecticut Valley, the New England Thruway Corridor, and up through I-95 toward Boston, including Providence as well. There's going to be some heavy, wet snow, possibly enough so we'll have some power line damage here and maybe some tree limbs. Just depends on how much moisture we eventually squeeze out of all of this. So our precipitation, again, in the form of snow, could become locally heavy overnight tonight. Temperatures will be chilly, but not terribly cold. You know, just cold, raw weather continues.
Today, Cecily Tynan is holding down the weather fort for us. Good morning
Holding
again.
it down.
Good morning. You know, it is spring, but winter weather advisories are in effect. Kind of ironic, isn't it?
Ironic.
We're looking at a possibility of 1 to 2 inches of snow developing in the north and west suburbs, then changing to sleet and freezing rain. The storm hasn't gotten to us yet, though. Partly cloudy in Philadelphia, 34. And today's exclusive AccuWeather forecast, snow, ice, and rain, a messy day. The afternoon high, 40. We'll tell you when it's finally going to clear out in the AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up.
All right, Cecily.